Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Robert Raven here. Today we're going to go over the last creatures in the Otherworldly Creature Codex, the Devil-type creatures. Number 1 is the Fallen Hound, and here is the Fallen Hound. And the Fallen Hound has Divine Concept level of 3, Armor 20, Health 500, Mana 250, Base Attack 10. Base saves are Fortitude 14, Reflex 10, Will 12, Damage Threshold 25, Size Medium, Speed 60, Modifiers, Charisma plus 10, Con plus 11, Dex plus 9, Int plus 9, Strength plus 12, Wisdom plus 9, Creature Type Devil/Concept, Skills Perception plus 10, Survival plus 10, Mana Gathering plus 12, History plus 13, Special Senses, Magical Darkness Sight, 60 feet. Abilities are Tracking through Smell, Advantage on tracking creature through smell, Resistance to all damage. Immunities, it has immunity to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, fire, dark, lightning, and unholy. Regeneration of 20. Possession. Once per 24 hours, this creature can take possession of another creature. Additionally, this creature can only remain in possession of the targeted creature for up to 24 hours. While in possession of another creature, this creature uses that creature's game statistics. In addition, after this creature leaves that creature's body, then that creature becomes more susceptible to this creature's manipulation for the next 24 hours. Devilish Aura. This creature is surrounded in a 20-foot aura. Any hostile creature that starts or ends its turn in this affected radius takes an amount of damage equal to 4d12 and has its health point maximum reduced by an amount equal to the damage dealt. Otherworldly combat points. It has 5 combat points instead of 3, and multi-attack. It attacks twice instead of once. Combat is bite. Target one creature within 5 feet. On a hit, it takes 2d12, and this creature heals for the damage dealt. Bark. All hostile creatures that can hear this take 3d12 and become affected by both the deafened and frightened condition for the next 10 minutes. Devilish Burst. This creature lets loose a burst of energy after a 20-foot radius. Any hostile creature within this affected radius takes an amount of damage equal to 6d12 and becomes affected by the paralyzed condition for the next 10 minutes. Tactics. This creature always begins combat with its burst or bark, only using its bite when necessary. If in possession of another creature, then it will use that creature's abilities, attacks, etc. to try not to be discovered. Lore. These creatures are said to have been created when the blood of Lucifer, the Lord of Light, was spilled during his first battle against Yahweh, the Heavenly Lord. Number 2 is the Fallen Cat. And here is the Fallen Cat. And the Fallen Cat has Divine Concept level of 1, Armor 20, Health 300, Mana 150, Base Attack 8, Base Saves Fortitude 12, Reflex 14, Will 10, Damage Threshold 20, Size Small, Speed 80, Modifiers, Charisma plus 9, Con plus 8, Dex plus 10, Int plus 7, Strength plus 7, Wiz plus 7, Creature Type Devil/Concept, Skills Perception plus 8, Survival plus 8, Mana Gathering plus 9, History plus 9, Special Senses, Magical Darkness Sight, 60 feet. Abilities are resistance to all damage, immunity as immunity to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, fire, dark, lightning, and unholy. Regeneration of 10. Possession is the same as the Fallen Hound. Devilish Aura is the same as the Fallen Hound, except it's 2d12 damage. Otherworldly combat points. This creature has 4 combat points instead of 3. And multi-attack, it can attack twice instead of once. And then combat. Bite, target a creature within 5 feet. On a hit, it takes 2d10 damage and becomes affected by the frightened condition for the next 10 minutes. Claw, target one creature within 5 feet. On a hit, it takes 1d10 damage and becomes affected by the bleeding condition for the next 10 minutes. And Devilish Burst, this creature lets loose a burst. It's the same as the Hound, except a 15-foot radius instead of 20 and 3d12 damage. And affected by the prone condition instead of, I think, the paralyzed condition. So the Hound makes you paralyzed, the cat makes you prone. And then tactics. This creature always begins combat by possessing another creature before attempting to run away with that creature's body. Lore. These creatures are said to have been created when the blood of Lucifer, the Lord of Light, was spilled during his second battle against Yahweh, the Heavenly Lord. Number 3 is Goliath, left hand of Lucifer. And here is Goliath, left hand of Lucifer. And Goliath has Divine Concept level of 10, Armor 28, Health 1500, Mana 1000, Base Attack 13, Base Saves Fortitude 15, Reflex 13, Will 17, Damage Threshold 40, Size Gargantuan, Speed 150, Modifiers Charisma plus 11, Con plus 15, Dex plus 13, Int plus 10, Strength plus 15, Wisdom plus 10, Creature type Devil/Concept, Skills Perception 16, Mana Gathering 18, Athletics 20, Acrobatics 20, History 22, Special Senses, Magical Sight 100 feet. Abilities are resistance to all damage, immunities. He's immune to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, fire, dark, lightning, poison, and unholy. Additionally, he can't be poisoned or diseased in any way. Regeneration of 50. Possession is the same as the Fallen Hound and Cat, except it's twice per day. Devilish Aura is the same, except it's a 30-foot radius, and it is 60-12. Otherworldly size. This creature gains all the benefits and none of the negatives from its size category. Otherworldly combat points. He has 6 combat points instead of 3. And multi-attack, he can attack 4 times instead of once. And then combat, Devilish Spear of Goliath. The wielder of this spear gains a +5 to all damage dealt with this weapon and to all of its saves against danger, 5 through 1500 feet, 1d12 magical dark plus 1d12 otherworldly. On a hit, the affected creature becomes affected by the bleeding condition. Additionally, this creature regains an amount of health equal to the damage dealt. In addition, this spear has incorporeal strike, which means it can hit incorporeal creatures and ghosts. Meteor Punch. Target one space within 5 through 1500 feet and smash the ground around it out to a 30-foot radius from the chosen space. This creates a 30-foot radius wide by 50-foot deep crater in the chosen space. All hostile creatures within this affected radius take 5d8 damage and become affected by both the prone and paralyzed conditions for the next hour. Summon fallen hounds or cats. This creature summons either 1d4 fallen hounds or 1d4 fallen cats underneath its telepathic control. Additionally, these creatures remain until their health is reduced to 0, and whenever one of their health is reduced to 0, Goliath regains 50 health. And Devilish Burst is the same as the hounds and the cats, except it's 6d 12, 20-foot radius, and affected by the petrified condition for 10 minutes. Tactics. This creature always begins combat either in possession of another creature or by possessing another creature. Either way, it will do this until it cannot. Then it will begin by summoning either hounds or cats before using its burst, followed by its punch, only using its spear when necessary. Lore. Not much is known about this creature other than it is said that he was the first devil created by Lucifer, the Lord of Light, after his fall from grace. Number 4 is Judah, the right hand of Lucifer. And here is Judah, right hand of Lucifer. And Judah has divine concept level of 16, armor 32, health 3000, mana 2000, base attack 15, base saves fortitude 20, reflex 18, will 16, damage threshold 50, size large, speed 200, modifiers charisma plus 22, con plus 16, dex plus 15, int plus 10, strength plus 24, wisdom plus 10. Creature type devil / concept. Skills perception 18, mana gathering 24, athletics 22, acrobatics 22, history 20, special senses magical darkness, sight 150 feet. Abilities resistance to all damage, immunities immune to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, fire, dark lightning, poison, and unholy. Additionally, he can't be poisoned or diseased in any way. A regeneration of 80. Possession 3 times per 24 hours, devilish aura of 30-foot radius, 10d12 and 10d12 damage. Otherworldly size, he gains the benefits and none of the negatives from the size category. Otherworldly combat points, he has 7 combat points instead of 3, and multi-attack, he makes 4 attacks instead of 1. Combat, devilish sword of Judah. The wielder of the sword gains a +5 to all damage dealt with this weapon and to all saves against danger. 5 through 15 feet. 1d8 magical dark plus 1d8 otherworldly. On a hit, the affected creature becomes affected by the charmed condition for the next 10 minutes. Additionally, this creature regains an amount of health equal to the damage dealt. In addition, this sword has incorporeal strike. Devilish armor of Judah. The wearer of this armor gains the following 5 benefits. 1. Anytime this creature would be dealt fire damage, it instead regains an amount of health equal to the damage that should have been dealt. Excuse me. Number 2 is the same, but for light damage. Number 3 is the same, but for divine damage. Number 4 is the same except for psychological damage. And then number 5, at the beginning of each 24 hours, this armor grows 1d6 tendrils made of darkness that can either attack another creature or defend this creature. At the beginning of each of this creature's turns, it chooses if it wants to use these tendrils to either attack or defend. If attack is chosen, then this creature can make 1 attack with each of these tendrils for the cost of 1 of the same 1 combat point, dealing an amount of damage per tendril equal to 1d6 unholy plus 1d6 supernatural. If defend is chosen, then this creature gains an amount of temporary health points equal to 100 until the beginning of its next turn. Additionally, these tendrils have a reach of 30 feet. In addition, these tendrils have incorporeal strike. Summon Fallen Hound / Cat. He summons 1d6 fallen hounds and 1d6 fallen cats under his telepathic control. If any of them are destroyed, he gains 100 health. Flesh Rotting Hands. This creature touches one creature and reduces that creature's maximum health for an amount of health equal to 2 health points per each 1 mana points spent on this attack. Additionally, while using this attack, this creature has its health point maximum increased by an amount equal to the reduction. Tactics. This creature loves to toy with his enemies by possessing one of their closest relatives and forcing them to be slain in order to push this creature out of their body. After this happens, this creature will possess another creature that is within combat. Once forced out a second time, it will use its possession for the last time. If forced out for a third time, then it will summon its hounds and cats before using its sword and tendrils, only using its hands when necessary. Lore. All that is known about this creature is it is said that he was once the best friend of Jesus, right hand of Yahweh, before betraying him by helping in his crucifixion as a test to prove he had sided with the darkness in his heart. And number 5, the last one for today's video, is Lucifer, the Lord of Light. And here is Lucifer, the Lord of Light. And Lucifer has a divine concept level of 19, armor 50, health 10,000, mana 5,000, base attack 220, base saves fortitude 25, reflex 20, will 30, damage threshold 1,000, size gargantuan, speed 1,000 feet, modifiers charisma plus 60, con plus 50, dex plus 45, int plus 40, strength plus 55, wisdom plus 35, creature type devil/concepts, skills perception 50, mana gathering 60, athletics 30, acrobatics 30, history 40, special senses, that's supposed to be just magical sight. Magical sight, 500 feet. Abilities, resistance all damage, immunities to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, fire, dark, lightning, poison, and unholy. Additionally, can't be poisoned or diseased in any way. A regeneration of 150. Possession, this creature can take possession of another creature. Additionally, this creature can remain in possession of the targeted creature until its health points are reduced to 0 while in possession of another creature. This creature can either use that creature's game statistics or its own. In addition, after this creature leaves that creature's body, then that creature becomes more susceptible to this creature's manipulation for the next 30 days. Devilish aura is the same as the rest, except it's 30-foot radius and it's 10d20 damage. Otherworldly size, gains all the benefits and none of the negatives of his size category. Otherworldly combat points, he has 8 combat points instead of 3. And multi-attack, he can make 6 attacks instead of 1. Combat, Devilish Wand of Lucifer. The wielder of this weapon gains a +5 to all damage dealt with this weapon and to all of its saves against danger, 5 through 1,500 feet, 1d12 magical, psychological, plus 1d12 otherworldly. On a hit, the affected creature becomes petrified. Hold on, I lost my spot. Petrified. Okay, yeah, it becomes affected by the petrified condition. Additionally, this creature regains an amount of health equal to the damage dealt, equal to damage dealt, and it has incorporeal strike. In addition, any creature that is either hit by this wand 3 times or has its health reduced to 0 by this wand is affected by the corresponding effect. 1. Hit 3 times. The creature becomes affected by the charmed condition. This bypasses a creature's resistance or immunity to the charmed condition. 2. Health reduced to 0. This creature is resurrected as either a fallen hound or fallen cat under this creature's telepathic control. Horned Crown of Lucifer. The wearer of this crown gains the following 6 benefits. 1, anytime the creature would be dealt bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage, it instead regains an amount of health equal to the damage that should have been dealt. 2, anytime the creature would be dealt fire damage, it regains health instead. 3, anytime it would be dealt divine damage, it gains health instead. 4, anytime it would be dealt psychological damage, it gains health instead. 5, at the beginning of each 24 hours, it grows 1d20 tendrils, and that is the same as the other tendril attack. And then this is number 6. At the beginning of each creature's turn, this creature can teleport up to 100 feet in any direction of its choice. Additionally, after teleporting, the space that this creature left and everything within a 30-foot radius around it erupts in darkness. All hostile creatures within this affected radius take 10d10 damage and become affected by the blind condition for the next hour. In addition, this creature if this creature teleports to a space that is already occupied by another creature, then this creature can make 3 attacks against that creature as part of this attack. Summon fallen hounds and cats. He summons 1d12 fallen hounds and 1d12 fallen cats under his telepathic control. If any of them die, he gains 250 health. Devilish Charm. Any hostile creature that begins or ends its turn within a 300-foot radius of this creature must make a will save against danger set by the game organizer at disadvantage with a -10. On a successful save against danger, the creature becomes affected by the charmed condition for the next 24 hours. On a failed save against danger, the creature becomes affected by the charmed condition for the next 30 days. Additionally, this bypasses a creature's resistance and or immunity to the charmed condition. Flesh-rotting hands. As this creature touches one creature and reduces that creature's maximum health for an amount of health equal to 50 health per 1 mana point spent on this attack. Additionally, while using this attack, this creature has its health point maximum increased by an amount equal to the reduction. And then tactics. This creature will always try to stay in possession of one of its target's loved ones or someone that its target knows / or is close to, so that it can play mind games to more effectively cause their enemies to drop their guard. Lore is all that is known about this creature is that it is said that he was once the right hand of Yahweh until he became the first divine creature to be corrupted by darkness. Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed these monsters and this series. When I'm able to, this will have a link in my YouTube description, just like the other creature codex, for everyone to have access to all these otherworldly creatures to use in their games for free. Please give us a like, subscribe, and share so that people can use these monsters in their games and join us for more adventures. Thank you all and have a nice day.